And it was written by Kasmore Rhedrick, directed and performed by Angela Potvin and Jonathan Bateman. And the music for the play Apple Martini with 3 Cherries was by josh-hinck. So yeah, a lot of people wanted this. You guys ready to go? All right, here we go. Apple Martini with 3 cherries.
It's true, but it's really because she's mean and cruel and unusual, and I know that because I had to live with her. My dad was lucky he could get away, but the courts, they wouldn't let me go. I was stuck with her for 18 years, and
it never fails. I always bag the crazy ones.
I would like to move in with my dad now. I'd like to live with him and his new wife, just to see what it would be like to have a new mother. I wonder if we would have a mother-daughter relationship or a sister-sister relationship, being that we're pretty much the same age. I haven't a mother-daughter. I really would like to have a new mom, even if she's younger than me. It might be cool to have a mom that looks up to you and asks you how things were like back in the day.
She was such a quiet drunk. Maybe if we get her another drink, she'll shut up. Hey, do you want another drink? Let me get you a cocktail.
Wow, you never stop working. I normally don't like guys who take their work home with them, but for you, I'll make an exception. I'll take an apple martini, 3 cherries.
Yes, I remember.
So where was I? Oh yeah, my mother. I feel so bad for my mother. She's at that age where the only new things in her life are tragic. That's her life, illness, death, and divorce. That's the life of her entire circle. Every day, a friend is diagnosed with cancer, or they're taken out by cancer, or the malignant husband that's sick of ignoring her just kind of takes off on her. I hope I'll be able to fast forward past that part of my life. I mean, bypass it completely. I'll find myself some new friends, younger friends, friends that don't have cancer, so don't get sick and die. Small sips. Let me take small sips before I get completely influenced by your life.
I've only known you for a few hours.
Oh, it's so green and sparkly. Thank you. Your potions look so much better in the light.
Wish I could say the same for you.
Last night, we were green and gleaming. You would never have made that remark last night. What's happening to us?
I was drunk. Only if you were there.
Oh, don't say things that you're going to regret later.
And now I'm sober and satiated. And you're still here. Do you think we should go home now?
We love each other, I can tell. And you know this to be true. Look what a beautiful emerald you gave me. It's shiny, sweet, and delicious, just like our love.
If only we had something to go on, if we shared some memories, if we shared some memories.
We just have one more reason to not like each other. You would hate me for something I did to you, and I would despise you for something you did say.
If we had memories of each other, you're crying because you don't want to leave your mother. Memories of the first day of nursery school. And I'm miserable because I have to wear a starch shirt for the first time.
I don't like my mother. Don't you remember?
And maybe we don't like the same kid in class because he eats glue. Or maybe he wets himself and we laugh at him and make fun of him and the teacher sends us both to sit in the same corner.
Spilt milk, my love. Spilt milk. Stop crying over spilt milk. Why don't you make me another drink? If children behaved like adults, playgrounds would be just as miserable as corporate office buildings. We're just a couple of kids trying to play an adult game. Give Mom a kiss. Very impressive. Your resume states that you've already spent 2 years in the sandbox, so I guess you already know how to mix sand with water to make it firm. Yes, yes, I've built double-decker structures as well as moats. Do you prefer shovels or your hands? Well, I like to dig trenches and moats with my hand or the side of my shoe. I use a shovel more as a carving tool. Well, that's very interesting. How would you describe your skills as tech? Do you run very fast?
I'm okay.
What about duck, duck, goose? How many times do you actually make your round circle before you get caught?
Well, I'm not the fastest. But my mother, she just bought me a pair of sneakers. They have those wings on them. So that means you go extra fast.
Very impressive. I just have one last question for you. What are your thoughts on nap time?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of nap time. I fight it. But I'm starting to believe that all the yelling and screaming I do in protest is all for naught. I always just end up getting tired and falling asleep like a baby anyways.
All right then. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'll be informing you later in the week of my decision. See, I have a couple more candidates to interview before making that final decision. Here's my card. If you have any questions about the position, call me.
I do have one question.
Yes?
What are the hours?
Well, I start playing as soon as I wake up. And I play straight through until my bedtime.
Well, what about lunch and dinner?
Well, I play straight through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm often scolded, noticed, for playing in my food.
Sounds like you have a very busy schedule.
Play is serious business. I'm looking for a mate who can live up to the challenge.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.